Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. So, delighted to have my partner in crime over this side of the desk with me.
This is nice.
It has been a while.
It has been a long one.
And for good reason. We have a new contender in the debate, a face that you guys will have seen a lot recently, but your first time in the hot seat.
Oh boy.
Hitting balls.
Yes. It's different under the lights, guys.
RB. This is going to be fun. So we're going to do a little gapping session at the top end of your bag. That was somewhere where you said you were looking for maybe some numbers and to kind of go through the process a little bit. And kind of in warming up, we kind of saw the need to maybe have a little look at your driver. You've been on a little speed journey recently, which is cool.
That's great, yeah.
You know, lots of people going on this kind of quest for more speed, and it's changed for Ryan.
Mostly the stack system, Ryan, you've been using?
Yeah, I've been
And
using
that's the one
stack.
you were using too? Yep.
I've already gone through like the baseline, a full initial program on like my second program now.
Nice.
Kind of rotate between that, and I kind of warm it once in a while with like something called the golf slingshot.
Right.
Yep.
But the stack for me, like I've loved their program. I've actually like been shocked. I was kind of disappointed with again, seeing you guys hit shots all the time and seeing like what I feel like my capabilities are as someone who was like a former hockey player and played other sports.
Right.
And then the speed just didn't come. It's like 101, 102.
Okay, so that's where you were comfortable around 100, maybe low hundreds, yep.
So for me, I wanted more speed, I wanted more distance.
Yeah, I mean, probably a fairly similar kind of scenario to where I kind of got to the point where like I would watch you and like, okay, I got to step up and start swinging this a little bit here. Like what was going on? And you know, sounds like a similar thing. RB, like when you see other people, you know, gain in speed and stuff like that, you kind of think to yourself, why am I settling for less? Yeah,
it really was. And like a lot of the courses I play aren't overly long, and I feel like I should be taking much more advantage of that. And I really wasn't.
So this will be cool. So we're going to go through your driver setup right now. Mizuno STZ, 9 degree turned down to 7.5. Yeah. You've had the original hazardous handcrafted for a long time, the yellow.
Yeah, it's kind of like a safety blanket for me. That's why I always kind of generally go back to it. But I've had other ones in the past, so.
Well, and when you're working with a different set of dynamics in terms of how you recruit your speed, this is different now, right? So there's all sorts of different things that have to happen to get the speed out now, and you know, things like, you know, your ability to hit the brakes with the handle to let the head accelerate, like that's a big part of how you do this. And with a club like that, I think dynamically we're going to see some things here that we might need to address some issues in terms of where we give you the feel of the driver. I saw a couple of little things warming up there that kind of give me a little idea as to where we might go with this, but I won't spoil that, and let's do a little intro of you hitting a few. Perfect. We'll talk to the numbers and then we'll get to work. A sort of natural progression for anyone trying to get some speed is the hands are going to be kind of a little more active than they used to be, and obviously delivering a little bit more dynamic loft in this instance. And it'll be interesting as we kind of move the balance up and down the shaft, how we get you to feel the club and where your release starts to kick in. You know, obviously that's quite high as of right now, but I really think we can get that launch down to more like 14, 15, get that spin down about 1,000. Naturally, the ball speed will climb as a result of that, but you know, getting that loft down under 20 to get a 17, 18 will be our goal here for sure, RB. Nice, really nice there.
Great flight. Get on there.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Okay, nice nice little second set there. So you had been testing a TSI 3, 8.5 turned down to 7.25.
Yeah.
VA Nemesis in there, 55 stiff.
Yes.
So probably a little on the soft side for where your speed is now, looking at that there. So even that one, you were able to get the clubhead speed up another couple of miles an hour. You know, so there's maybe a bit of length difference, half an inch.
About half an inch, yeah.
Okay, so a bit more speed from the club length. That's good. Yep.
And you've played around the weighting in this one to offset a little bit of the length. You went with a two
The
gram
-2,
less.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a heavier one with like a different shaft because people had seen in my What's in the Bag.
Yeah.
I had been playing this with the 6X Ventus Black.
Right. Okay.
But I had a heavier weight in it just because for me it felt right.
Right.
Going longer and lighter, I actually went lighter again in the clubhead, and I found, at least in testing, the results were pretty good.
The dynamic loft is heading in the right direction. Delivery was fairly similar, maybe a little more from the outside. Again, an indication where Ryan recruits his speed from. You know, some people swing quicker and the club drops behind them, or some people swing quicker and they throw the club out a little bit more. So we'll kind of pay attention to that as we go along here.
Gotcha.
Launch angle and spin both came down as a result, which is nice. Carry distance is already up 12 yards and we haven't even tried anything yet, which is really good. So that's more of an average of 290 rather than looking at the best one at 290.
Gotcha. So a subtle improvement between what the Mizuno was then.
Yep.
Good.
Okay, let's move into something just again to, you know, gauge what the delivery, what we can do with the delivery and the ball flight. I mean, strangely enough, I love what we saw from that flight. Now, we need to manage the face and kind of, you know, help you along the road with that, but
there's a lot of good stuff going on.
There's some good stuff there. The loft coming down, you know, part of that, you know, closing face and stuff, but there's enough good indicators that go, okay, if we square that face, we're going to hit 17, 18.
Right. Yeah, that's still below the window that you want.
Definitely.
Anyway.
Tons of efficiency, and we're going to be in a really nice window.
Okay. That worked.
So good.
Boy, did that ever work. Oh.
Can I take that to the golf course every day?
Gosh.
That's what we do this for, to see that smile on your face.
Jeez.
Yeah. Really, really good.
That's
Start
crazy.
line
It's
and now
perfect.
just controlling that back.
It's just perfect. The flight is so nice. Yeah.
Get over that.
Just easily, yeah.
Like this, so there's your driver who's kind of spinning up, and you've just picked yourself up a good 35 yards. 40 in there.
40 in the air, yeah. That's the one that really matters too,
40
isn't it?
in there. Look at that kind of delivery. So interestingly, your speed has went up. So I wanted to actually get the balance point down the head a little bit. I wanted to move that down, see if we could stop the feeling of that and that. So, you know, the kind of the kind of left wrist kind of breaking down. Once you can feel like that left wrist to travel a little bit more, to keep the face to the right and keep the dynamic loft down.
That's interesting. And more weight, like basically a heavier swing weight helps with that. Oh, that's cool.
Yep. So not feeling like the weight is too far up the shaft to the point where the handle is working proportionately too slow relative to the new head speed.
Yeah.
That's what I saw in the first few.
Interesting.
The handle was working too slow, which was able to make the loft go up and left. Swing is got neutralized a little bit, like you said.
It's
there.
nice
So
to
path
see, right?
is just kind of come down a little bit, but biggest
crazy.
kicker is just that dynamic loft coming down 9 degrees.
Wow.
Huge. Strike really kind of came together there at the end as well.
Because what's interesting is the Mizuno was a 7.5 degree driver.
Yeah.
This is down 1.5 degrees, but it's not down 6. It's not a 0 degree driver, so it's pretty unbelievable, the shaft, and as you were saying, all those different weight kind of placement techniques you use that takes so much loft off that shot.
That's a pretty quick way around that, and we are going to get into the gapping, so we're not going to dive too far beyond that, but there's nowhere really left to go.
No, I don't think you could do much better than that.
Ball speed at 163. You know, you were saying earlier, like the PRGR monitor has indicated to you maybe had a couple at 162.
Yeah.
So you just had one there at 164.
Yes.
That's the fastest I've seen on the
Yeah,
monitor.
that's the fastest you've been on COD ever.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, which is awesome to see. So now we do need to gap the bag.
Yeah.
Because you
There's
have a whole
gaps.
different. Yeah, there is a big gap now. You've really stretched your bag out.
Yeah.
So why don't you grab your fairway wood? We'll take a little look at that. A really nice strike.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. A very similar picture to when we look with your driver. Very similar, just it living in a window of slightly slower speed and slightly higher spin.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to pop you into a little Sim 2 titanium, rocket head, Ventus, basically just get a Ventus blue again.
Perfect.
And see, this should be a fairly natural little, fit into this one as well. Sounded great.
Did it ever?
Felt really good.
It's definitely got a few
Yeah.
more miles in it, no
Okay.
question.
Okay, so coming back a little bit now.
Yeah, it's got the right shape.
Yep. 250 on the fly. Didn't seem like you maybe got it all, but
I did not catch all of that.
That's
No.
a lot to get out of a bit of a miss. Ball speed
wow.
was really strong there as well, RB 156. So 12 launch and just shy of 3,500 is right on the money without even fully getting that. But I think that's the difference maker. Once we can move the face angle right of your path, you can start to see a little bit of that shape.
Again, that didn't feel like I got all of it.
No,
but
little bit scrapey. We're going to switch into a different shaft here, hazardous blue. I'm going to challenge you to do one thing slightly differently in your setup.
okay.
I want you to move the golf ball back a little in your stance, which will obviously move the club down, and it'll actually push it a little to the right as well in terms of the path. So we should actually see a little bit of, more of a neutral delivery. Just needs
That
to be on
worked
a
out.
golf course.
Maybe I just need to be on the golf course.
Just need to be on a golf course. I mean, you couldn't hit that any better, right?
Dead straight.
So good.
That's perfect.
Nice. Really
Take
nice,
that.
RB. Really nice. It's going to be a work in progress for your delivery with 3-wood off the deck, but you're doing remarkably well, considering that angle of attack is upward, and it's something to work on. But you've got at least get yourself in with a fighting chance now that you've got the loft down a little bit.
Yeah.
You've got some room to move that loft back up should you get a little bit more of that, but as a starting point, those are great.
And that's the biggest thing is like since gaining speed, I still feel like at times I've been struggling on the golf course to see the results with the clubs that I had.
Now you can
which
see why.
wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I
Right.
still felt like I was like scoring okay, but it just there was something to be desired, and this shows that there was definitely a lot more potential out there.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, to see the difference in going from a kind of 240, 250 fairway wood out to 270, potentially 280, if you can
Huge.
get the right hole to get the shape working into, then a driver obviously that's out there way further, I mean 35, 40 yards further, you're right. I mean
And both of them are about 40 feet lower too,
know.
because of the flight is much more easier to control right on the course, especially if it's windy.
Well, I think what's going to be interesting now is the dust needs to settle on this, because this is new now. Like, this is a whole different level of horsepower you're bringing to your game. You're going to have different needs in your game, because the yardages that you've been probably leaving yourself are going to change based on your ability to hit the ball so much further. Let's let the dust settle on that, and we can revisit once we know what your new needs are. Once you have these clubs in hand, and you've got a little Arcos data to back up, where you're leaving yourself from now, because there's no doubt about it, playing golf will be very different for you now.
I think you're right. That next club, whether it's a hybrid or like a long iron, I think you're going to find maybe the need for it in the next few weeks, because you've got 30 yards more on the driver and the 3-wood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, that was a lot of fun. I think a really good insight as to what goes along with improvements in any way, whether it's your swing or whether it's speed or whatever it is. You are going to have to reevaluate your equipment. You're going to have to think about it differently. Yes. Hopefully you've got a club fitter that you trust and work with, and they can know your previous history from a delivery standpoint, and then obviously understand where you want to get
and where you're heading after that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, stay tuned for more. We will see you again soon.